Croatia is no longer a well-kept secret. Throngs of visitors hit the Adriatic coast every year to enjoy the food, nightlife and beauty of this bountiful little country. But you can escape the growing crowds for a more enriching and authentic Croatian experience by heading straight for the best small towns in Croatia. To maximize your experience, be sure to visit at least one hilltop village and one coastal enclave. In this video, we explore the most charming small towns in Croatia. We've collected a list of the top charming small towns in Croatia, so make sure to include them in your list if you're a visitor. At first in the list, number 1, Korcula Town. Visit Marco Polo's birthhouse while in Korcula Town on the island of Korčula in the Adriatic Sea. It's a legend that he was born in this stunning seaside fortress town, but it sure is convincing. The old town is a fortified citadel that seems to float upon the ocean. There is an open-air theater in the old town where you can take in free shows during warmer months. The fortress has been transformed into a beautiful collection of shops, galleries, bars, restaurants and boutiques, making Korcula Town a very popular destination for the locals and tourists alike. Number 2, Trogir. One of the best preserved medieval towns in Europe, Trogir stands proudly on the Adriatic coast. Head down to the seaside promenade to look at the lavender covering the hills of the islands in the harbor. Run through the winding, narrow, ancient streets to find hole-in-the-wall restaurants and hidden art galleries. Gaze upon incredibly preserved buildings from the 13th through the 15th centuries. You can also find Roman ruins, Romanesque and Renaissance architecture, and the stunning Venetian Cathedral of St. Lavro. Connected by 3 bridges to the mainland, this walled-off island's nightlife lines the stone walkway of the promenade. Number 3, Rastoke. Rastoke looks like it came to life off the pages of a fairy tale book. Old wooden bridges traverse rivers alive with waterfalls that are ripe for kayaking and rafting. About 100 permanent residents maintain over 22 mills on the thatch of rivers that crisscross the landscape. Locals are all too happy to help you with river and waterfall adventures. For the daring, there are Class 3 rapids. For the sporty, there is the single kayak. And you can even link rafts for a family expedition. One hotel with about 100 rooms awaits those who stop here on their way to the Plitvice Lakes. Number 4, Hvar Town. Hvar is an island on the Adriatic Sea just off the coast of Croatia, and the biggest town on the island is Hvar Town. You'll find no cars on the marble streets of this fortified city, but you will find up to 20,000 visitors per day during the high season. Gothic palaces are penned in by formidable 13th century walls, and just outside those walls sit beautiful clear water beaches. A short boat ride takes you to the nude beaches of the Pakleni Islands. This town has a wild side. Known for partying at all hours of the day, Hvar Town has a reputation for craziness and a younger crowd. Number 5, Motovun. White buildings with salmon-color roofs seem to spiral up a hill to a double-walled castle in the town of Motovun. Sitting inland in Istria, this medieval town may remind you of scenes from Game of Thrones. Modern homes and shops lead you up to the gates of the old town. Fortified in the 14th century by the Venetians, the old town has now been turned into a cloister of artists' studios, restaurants and shops. This is a popular destination where tour buses routinely drop off throngs of visitors at the base of the 275-meter, 900-foot, hill. Number 6, Rovinj. On the west coast of the Istrian peninsula juts Rovinj into the Adriatic Sea. More than 15,000 residents cram into this tiny town wedged into the edge of the peninsula. Unlike many other ancient Croatian cities, Rovinj has no fortified walls. The outer ring houses feature front doors that open right up to the sea. A popular tourist destination, the old town is sprinkled with 4-star hotels and restaurants where you'll find great seafood. Rovinj is still an authentic fishing port. Take a boat trip to the nearby Rovinj archipelago to escape the crowds for a day. Number 7, Veli Losinj. Slow down in Veli Losinj. This tiny little community on the island of Losinj in Primorje-Gorski Kotar County in western Croatia is a collection of authentic houses, restaurants, hotels, shops and bars on a scenic harbor. Ravenska, another beautiful bay, is just a 10-minute walk from here. The biggest attractions in Veli Losinj are the old sea captains' houses that were adorned with exotic plants collected as prizes from long voyages. The houses line the main road to the bay. Be sure to look for dolphins playing in the harbor in April and May. Number 8, Primosten. Just off the coast, in the Adriatic Sea, sits beautiful little Primosten. The Turks threatened the city back in the 16th century, so the citizens of Primosten made this little inlet and island connected to the mainland with a drawbridge. Fortified walls went up and the small city survived. The island was returned to being an inlet with a causeway, but the walls remained. Unfortunately, you'll have to visit this little tourist gem during the high season in the summer months, as the place hibernates in winter. The cobblestone streets come alive during warm weather with music, festivities and local vendors. Number 9, Pucisca. Less than 2,000 residents call Pucisca on the island of Vrbnik home. This little village, with its stunning bay and beautiful white limestone buildings, is often listed as one of the prettiest towns in Europe. The island of Vrbnik itself is pretty surreal. You'll travel through fields of boulders to get to Pucisca due to decades of backbreaking work by the women of Vrbnik to clear land for vineyards, figs and olives. It was once a privilege of aristocrats and artists to live here, and you can see why. The island rises quickly from the sheltering bay to make the town look as though it sits in an amphitheater. At last in the list, number 10, Moscenice. Moscenice is a typical hilltop medieval town sitting high above the Istrian peninsula. The outer walls of the outer ring of houses serve as fortified walls for the enclosed town. This doesn't leave a whole lot of space inside, creating a tight-knit community, literally. The narrow streets and enclosed walkways on the inside of the castle provide the small town with charm. Get a peek above the walls as Moscenice stands 170 meters, 570 feet, above sea level to give you a beautiful view of the sea and nearby islands. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite charming small towns in Croatia? Is there something we missed? Let us know in the comments section below, and don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to Greenable if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.